This Christmas, give yourself some peace of mind with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. Go to preparewithscout.com to get your 4-week food kit, which includes 2,000 calories per day of tasty freeze-dried meals, snacks, and drinks, all with a 25-year shelf life. This set is currently marked down to $167, and it comes with free 2-day shipping. Also, check out their 2-week kit for only $79. Every order helps me produce more videos like this one, so go to preparewithscout.com today and stock up on some peace of mind. In the past 10 years, I've published over 1,200 videos to YouTube, and about 1/4 of them were filmed at SHOT Show, the Shooting Hunting Outdoors trade show held every January in Las Vegas. I attended the show for 5 consecutive years, 2015 through 2019, and during that time, I became a go-to source for quality, timely coverage on new guns, new knives, and other interesting outdoor gear. Attending the show helped me build my channel into what it is, but there are a few good reasons why I don't plan to go back in 2020. First, it's no longer profitable for me. Increased competition paired with decreased ad revenue means the trip costs more than it earns. It doesn't make sense to keep going. Second, it takes more of my free time than I want to spend. I make these videos as a sort of side hustle, and I get very limited PTO from my main job. I'd rather spend that rare time off doing other things. Lastly, I can still create good content without it. I've made the connections I wanted to make, and I've built the reputation I wanted to build. I don't need to rely on SHOT Show for content anymore. For those reasons and others, I won't be attending, but some of you will. For you guys going to SHOT Show as media for the first time in 2020, I'd like to pass on some of what I learned about covering the show. There are some key practices that will help you get good content and avoid the pitfalls that can make the trip a waste. SHOT Show is a huge trade show, one of the biggest, so these tips will probably apply to any content creator who is trade show bound. So, if you make videos but not about guns, pay attention. I think this will help you. There are huge advantages to doing the show with a camera crew, or at least a media partner. However, I typically covered the show solo, with no crew but myself. I did so because it was cost-effective and because it kept me nimble and able to film what I wanted, whenever I wanted. If I'm honest, I also liked having that time to myself. It's a quirk of my personality. As much as I enjoyed running things alone, if I screwed anything up, it was all on me, and there are lots of ways to screw up. After 5 years of working the show and trying to streamline my approach, I think I've nailed down what to use, what to film, and how to maximize my time. So, if you plan to cover SHOT Show in the same way I did, here are my 3 keys to doing it successfully. Number 1, use the right equipment. Number 2, film the right content. Number 3, hustle, hustle, hustle. Let's expand on those points, starting with using the right equipment. Any number of quality cameras will work, so don't worry about the exact gear I used. However, make sure to set up your camera gear so that you're pretty much ready to hit record at any moment. Opportunities are all around you, and the more ready you are to take advantage of them, the more likely you'll succeed. I often used higher compression settings on my camera so that data transfer and post-production would go more quickly later on. Timely delivery of your coverage is critical if you want your work to be noticed, so begin with that end in mind. Good lighting will set your videos apart from the rest. Portable lighting is very cheap, pretty lightweight, and most lamps are built to connect to your camera's hot-cold shoe. Lighting on the show floor is pretty bad, so come ready to provide your own. And no, a flashlight won't do. Also, learn a thing or two about good lighting levels, colors, and direction. Light that's too bright, that's badly matched in temperature, or that comes from an unnatural angle is almost as bad as no light at all. Good audio is just as important, if not more so than good lighting in video. If your audience can't clearly hear what's being said, they'll jump ship from your coverage and watch someone else's. The show floor is very noisy, so get your mics close to your subject. Use lavalier mics if at all possible, and try to use 2. Getting the details from the booth host is important, but you're the real host, and your audience wants your input. If you can't use lav mics, a shotgun mic will be better than the camera's built-in mic, but the quality will still be much lower. If you have a cameraman, you can skip lav mics and just use a handheld mic, or even your phone to record the audio and then sync it all in post. Just be mindful of how much post-production work you're giving yourself. Assuming you're holding the camera, do your best to be responsive, smooth, and detailed with your shots. It's usually better to move in than it is to zoom in, but do what makes sense. Think about what your audience wants to see and keep reframing the shot to capture that. Know some basic guidelines for composing shots and for making the subject look good. If you've got some good video experience, this should come naturally, but I'm always amazed at how many people are still figuring it out. Now, to filming the right content. There is so much to see at SHOT. Whether it's range day or the regular show, there will be far more there than you can see or capture, even if you're working non-stop all day, every day. If you want to cut through the competition, don't waste your time with stuff that no one wants to see. Do some research ahead of time and set up appointments with manufacturers if possible. Having said that, make it your coverage. Show the things that interest you, that impress you. There's no point in covering stuff that you're not genuinely excited about. That advice goes for people too. If you come to a booth to make a video, make sure that the people there will give you a good presentation. I don't mean you should judge people on their looks. Lots of good-looking presenters can't string a sentence together. Make sure the person you're talking to knows their stuff and can speak about it fluidly, naturally, and with some enthusiasm. It's important to note that some presenters will need a little help. Some folks need direction on where to stand, where to look, and which items to talk about and what to leave out. Embrace your role as producer. On many occasions, I've had to cut a video and start over because the presenter couldn't stay on track. In other cases, I've had to give them a quick pep talk before hitting record because I could see how nervous they were. In all cases, you need to remember that this is your content and you run the show. If it's not shaping up the way you want, you need to take the reins and bring it back around. As far as approaching a booth cold with no appointment, there are some important things to remember. First, be polite but assertive. Approach the first uniformed employee you see, smile, introduce yourself, and then ask something like, "Hey, who's doing media this year?" They'll point you to the guy or the gal, and then you do the real pitch. If you have any sales or cold calling skills at all, they will come in handy here. If not, best of luck. If you're very fortunate, they've heard of you and will get you right in. If not, you may need to convince them that you're worth their time, or maybe set an appointment for later in the show. Second, assuming they agree to go on camera with you, take a couple minutes to explain your goals for the video, and also ask for their input. Ask something like, "So what's new this year that you'd like to talk about?" Or, "Give me the 30-second sales pitch on this thing." When you have a rough idea for the video, get them mic'd up, show them where you want them to stand or move to, and maybe even ask if another employee can keep the area clear. The more professionalism you show in regards to production, the more they'll bring to the table to make it an interesting video. Lastly, be lively with your conversation and help them do the same. If you have critiques for the products, think about getting those out ahead of time and letting them prepare a counterpoint for you. There are two sides to every story, and it's good to let your audience hear both. If you hope to work with them in the future, keep in mind that they will prioritize you based on your professionalism at the show. Finally, let's talk about your hustle. There will be 2,500 media members attending SHOT Show 2020, and all of them are trying to report on the hottest gear before you do. Like I said before, begin with that end in mind. Have your gear set up when the doors open, and have a plan for what you want to see every single day. Have all your camera, mic, and lighting batteries charged, and keep a portable charger for your phone. Be sure your memory card has plenty of space and keep a backup. A backup camera is also good to have if you can afford it. Keep water and snacks handy and wear very comfortable shoes. The key is to keep going, so set yourself up to do that. Use the SHOT Show app to locate each booth and plan your visits, but make time to do impromptu work as well. Fill in the little gaps of time you find. There's good content everywhere and you don't want to pass over it. SHOT Show provides a big media room for folks who want to work and upload their content from the convention center. Use that room if it works for you, but unless you really want to connect with other media, there's no reason to just hang out in there. I've met and seen many media folks who go to a few appointments each day and then spend the rest of their time just hanging out. I never saw the point of that. If you didn't come to hustle, why come at all? I've also seen media members film lots of content while at the show and then trickle it out over several weeks rather than blast it all out during the show. I've never understood that approach either. News is only relevant while it's news, and once everyone knows about a new product or a big reveal of some kind, no one cares to hear about it again. Get all of your content out as quickly as you can. My approach has been to film during the day and then edit and post that same night from my hotel. I upload videos as I finish them and then schedule them for release at regular intervals. A typical day involves waking up at 6:30, hitting the show from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., breaking for dinner for about an hour, and then continuing work until about 11 or 12 o'clock. 5 straight days of that makes for a pretty exhausting week. But again, if you don't come to hustle, why come at all? One thing I haven't mentioned is how to take care of yourself at SHOT Show. Making smart decisions on what to wear is easy. Same with staying hydrated. But so many people come back sick as a dog, and you'll want to avoid that if you can. Use copious amounts of hand sanitizer, take vitamins every day, and think about giving fist bumps instead of handshakes. Anything to avoid that SHOT Show flu. If you follow these tips, you'll set yourself up for a productive, fun week, and you'll find that the work you do will have a lasting, positive impact on your channel. If you've been to SHOT Show in the past and have some different tips for successful coverage, feel free to share them below. Also, comment and let us know if you're going to be there in 2020. I'd love to follow your coverage. Thanks for watching.